Lagos State University has sacked Professor Tajuddin Olumoko from his position as Dean of Student Affairs following allegations of certificate racketeering. In a statement, the management of the university said its attention had been drawn to recent reports regarding alleged certificate racketeering and a sting operation in the university. The statement said it had been established that the management of the institution had promptly brought the original allegations to the attention of general law enforcement authorities, and that includes the Office of the Lagos State Directorate of Public Prosecutions. Dayo Sobowale is our regular Arise analyst, and he joins us now to x-ray matters involved in this case. It's great to have you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure of being here. See you.
Right, here we are again. I believe there was some education-related matters in the news that we discussed a couple of weeks ago as well. But certificate racketeering, unfortunate, devastating news. What is your take on this case?
Well, it's happening, and it's a disgrace, especially as it is happening in the Ivory Tower. You will expect people in the Ivory Tower to be so much focused on intellectualism and moral uprightness that this sort of thing never happens. But it is a disgrace to the institution. But it is not only in Lagos State that the legislature is taking them to task. The same thing is happening in the Senate. The Senate is setting up a committee and is inviting vice chancellors on racketeering, embezzlement, and all that. Like I said, it is a disgrace and least expected coming from that sector. But then look at the antecedents. You know, I believe in, if I have my way, there will be free university education. And then, of course, they will have to disburse funds. And these funds will have to be allocated and used by the administration of the universities. Invariably, the people who get to the top of the administration in the universities are professors. You get me? And you see, I still think that something needs to be done to our conception that those who are academics are better off than the rest of society. I think that is the problem. Even see in our electoral system, we brought in vice chancellors and all that. Okay. The fact that you're a professor in a discipline does not mean that you're a general administrator. That's what the British did in their public service. You see, you need to have a degree in the arts before you can become a permanent secretary. If you are a doctor, a technician, an engineer, a physicist, whatever, you see, you have your line to progress, but you will never be put in charge of administration, which is the fault line in what is happening here. You see, imagine a whole professor being sacked for certificate racketeering. They are selling degrees for 2 million, 3 million. And then they are using technology too. They say they will post the name and the number, you get me, on the university electronic board as if it is legal. It is fraudulent. It is fraudulent. And my own panacea or solution is that, you see, the government should find a way of cleaning up the administrative mess. I read somewhere that in 2017, the federal government put in 200 billion to develop all our tertiary institutions. But the 200 billion vamoose, the Secretary of Tech Fund lamented seriously, but you see, he said they have been able to recover 74 billion. You are talking billions, and you are talking of education. Education is the future of this country. So essentially, what I will suggest is that when people are about to be put in administrative positions as professors outside their discipline, they are sent on maybe crash courses on strategic management or corporate governance. You see, the corporate institutions have managed funds in such a way that they have set up a body of ethics for the board of directors and for the executive directors, even the non-executive directors. The same applications will apply. The fact that you are a professor in physics does not know that you can manage You know anything about administration? In fact, you see, the thing is that not all professors should be allowed to be vice chancellors. Not all professors should be allowed to be deans. There should be, see, you have the National Universities Commission. They should be able to find a way to sift them. I know the politics is there, it's the Senate of the institutions that elect them, and people lobby and all that. But the discipline, you see, if a man is doing nuclear physics now, you know, or engineer, or nuclear, or some of these newest digital something, invariably, you will notice that they will not have flair for administration at all. Because in some fields, it's your genius. It's your genius that takes you up there. And I read somewhere on strategic management that professors in their departments are like dictators. Because all the staff that work with them, they determine their future. The line of reporting is flat. It's between the, whereas in other institutions, you have an assistant general manager, you have general manager, you have director. So there is a line of control. But in the academia, according to strategic management studies, that is flat. So if you are a good lecturer, senior lecturer, you have to dance to the whims and caprices of that professor. If he says your paper is not on, it's not on. And there's academic renown and authority all over the place. So obviously there is an administrative deficit. Administrative deficit. You can even see it even so the way some of the professors who handle resident electoral, you saw they were like fish out of water. So, but now, if the quality of degrees, you get me, is being faulted through racketeering and through admission, government needs to set up something. That's why I'm happy. Lagos State has set up its own body. You get me? Summoning the vice chancellor, summoning and dismissing this, I mean, the professor who was involved. And the Senate is doing the same thing, almost simultaneously. So let's wait and see the results of what they are doing. But it is highly condemnable and it's a disgrace. It puts meritocracy at risk. Because if you have a fake graduate, you can never have a quality contribution to economic development. That's my take for now.
Very well said, Mr. Sobowale. Of course, we know that education is something that you hold very dear.
Oh, yeah. Free education.
Yes. You've mentioned so many things worth repeating. You said the government should find a way of cleaning up the administrative mess. Mm-hmm. And also, you mentioned that something needs to be done with our perception that because you're in academics, you're better off. Right. And also, you stated that you're content with some moves that Lagos State government has made. Yes. From what you're seeing at the center, are you content with the body language of how the situations like this might be put in place? Do you think that they have the current body language to probably make all these implementations or make all these suggestions reality?
Well, you see, they are summoning people now. Mm-hmm. They are summoning people in Abuja. They are summoning people in Alausa. You get me? I will monitor, or we will monitor those inquiries and see what they come up with. But then, in the past, people like Femi Falana have said that the unionists, LASU, as vocal and powerful as they are in fighting for their fringe benefits, should have been monitoring how the vice chancellors are disbursing university funds so that they should be able to counter them and hold them to accountability and transparency standards. Get me? So that they should not be closing university for their own selfish interests always, which is true. I mean, checks and balances may be in the political domain. It can be practiced in the ivory tower too. Get me? The ASU people, monitor them. Because you see, government spends a lot. They disburse a lot of funds. And it's between the university vice chancellor and the bossa. You will go and look at the cases of collusion and embezzlement that have arisen. You see, it's invariably a collusion between the vice chancellor, the administrative department, and the bossa, who is the chief financial officer. I will even go further and say the federal government should adopt what they do in banks. You know, in banks you have inspection departments. Mm-hmm. You get me? They know when they will come to inspect your branch. You don't know. When they come, they have come. You get me? Maybe NUC should do that sort of thing. Let them know that there is an inspection unit. It can bounce on on any university at any time and ask them to render account of how they have disbursed their funds and things like that. That should put people in check. But for professors to think that once they are become vice chancellor, they have become the alpha and omega of the university system, it is not on. It must be held to the same corporate standards in the corporate world, in the banks, in anywhere that you have huge funds to be disbursed and to be used for the purposes for which they are marked. Yes.
Mr. Sobowale, recently I was praising my alma mater because they were...
Oh, yeah, is that?
Well, that's outside the point. It
doesn't matter. I'm with you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I went to the University of Cape Town. Now, what I love is that... absolutely, I love my university. Number one university in Africa. Anyway, what they've done is they've been very aggressive recently about getting the buy-in of their alumni into upholding the standards, the integrity, should I call
monitoring.
It the position? Yes, exactly. Of the institution. Do you think there's a role for not just LASU, but just for alumni of Nigerian university to get more involved in ensuring that the legacy of the institutions, like you're speaking of IFE, you're highly invested in it. Would you want to be involved in making sure that the affairs in your university were
that the standards maintained? Are kept? Yes. We have strong alumni associations. But I'll tell you what they do is to donate to improve facilities. You get me? They don't look very much into accountability of all those facilities. Their own is that, okay, there is this deficit in this infrastructure, collect money. So of them who are well-to-do, they fund, what do you call it now? Chairs. They fund chairs. You see, what we are talking about now is that because of this prevalent mismanagement of funds, maybe, but I doubt if they will want to do that. Because even like the president of the Senate said even in calling the vice chancellors and all these people to order, they don't want to give the impression that our institutions are fraudulent, or that we give out fake degrees or low quality degrees. So it's a good suggestion. And now it's on the ground, but not in that direction of accountability. It's in the direction of growth of the university system. But then maybe they should address themselves to accountability and transparency now. Yes.
Mr. Sobowale, you expected nothing less from me. Thank you for your insights, your suggestions, and for doing justice to this topic. It's a delight to have you here on Newsday. Thank you.
Right.